Hello, Enrique. Welcome.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, welcome from Friday.
Happy Friday. Yeah.
Some of the Fridays are much better than Mondays, so this is good.
You still feel the taste of last Monday. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Let's just wait 2 more minutes or 1 minute, just when the people will start joining us. So, thank you very much for all of the people who are already online. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for the 10th episodes together, Enrique. That's
Yeah.
very.
So that's definitely a
We need
benchmark
to
there. Yeah.
celebrate this. I think this is something, like we need to get some celebration today.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw the confetti popping up before the countdown. So it's
Yeah, I think we good. We are having right now enough people just to join. Okay, so guys, we are streaming on YouTube, on the Twitter, also on our channel on LinkedIn. So just welcome to all the people who join us today. And let's just start. The 10th of the episode.
exactly. Welcome, everyone. We are getting to the end of the season. This is not the end of the BIM Cafe. We're going to be publishing new content during the whole summer. And you guys can watch it on demand in our YouTube channel, also during on the events in LinkedIn. So please be our guests and get all the BIM knowledge during the summertime as well. So today on the 10th episode, we are gonna mainly focus our session on analyzing what is the BIM workflow, what is the logic behind BIM methodology, how the efforts or work is put into each phases, and we're gonna analyze study cases on real life, how bad can be the lack of coordination and some problems that can arise during construction projects if we are not implementing BIM.
You scare me, so this is good. So I know, this is the beam is information, data and information. What was this on the beginning?
Oh my God! You did it well on the ninth episode. You cannot fail right now. BIM is information plus visualization. This is
Ah,
this time almost 3 minutes without saying this. I think this is my record now. But no worries, because it's one of the main things that we do at the beginning of every season.
wow.
Go through the previous episodes and the recap. The main core is what is BIM, visualization and information. Okay, you can watch all this before, but remember we are providing visual models with the data inside. We're not providing unlinked data. We're not providing 3D design, beautiful model objects. It's all together combined into one. All right. We also discuss about the benefits in the construction industry and the main actors who can use BIM, as engineers or architects, and how this can lead to the save time and also some cost during the project execution. Also, other benefits among the business ends, which is the marketing or sale. How can it boost the sales of all your products or services if you're using BIM, and convert this logic of convert your downloads of BIM objects into potential leads and customers. Quick recap also about the LOD and dimensions. We discussed the level of detail, the amount of information we put inside the models, and dimensions as the maturity of the evolution of the BIM stage during the processes. And on the latest stage, the previous episodes, we just discussed the main barriers we can see during the BIM implementation, the readiness assessments about the staff. We will check if we go through a BIM implementation within the company and the staff and their skills, and also how to draft this implementation plan. What were the key factors about the support from the and compromise from the stakeholders, and also have a point of responsible person to do the BIM implementation and so on to deliver a strategy which leads to a successful implementation.
So guys, if you're one of these people who just always forgetting the stuff and you still do not remember how you want just to work in terms of the definition, you can relook at the previous episodes. Enrique mentioned there are some different episodes which you can just go into the details of what is really the beam, how it works, about the libraries, and just look at the YouTube. I think this YouTube channel is the best and the easiest. so you can find it easily the all of the recaps. So not like myself, you will not take anymore going further.
Exactly.
Visualization.
This is the I only ask you for remember 2 words after the first season. If it's visualization and information, okay. This is but there will be, if I make an exam for you guys, it's gonna be the first question, visualization and information. Go. Let's jump to the next topics. Okay, we're discussing about the workflow of BIM. First, I'm gonna put you a bit into the context and what is the traditional design workflow that you use on the construction, and it was shifting with the appearance of CAD, which is computer-aided design, the 2D. The design assisted by the computer softwares, and this is called. I can see the definition of this as design-driven strategy, where we have some requirements to run a building or deliver a project, and we make a design based on those requirements. And then, when we have that design, we implement the data and we check we check the validation of that data, if all the other parameters, products, and different combination of elements into the design are okay, they are work, and then we run this for the construction. Usually, I'm not going to spoil anyone. The answer is no. We really usually need to make redesigns of the faces. Some products are not exactly as expected, or values they don't perform as you wish. So we need to do a redesign of the process. When you're carrying out a design, is when you put all your efforts is the main roadblock, and it's not delivering up to buildings. So the process is still on hold. Let's say. So getting out of the design phase as smoothly as possible is very important for the process. Flawless. So this is the old style of the design-driven strategy, and with BIM, we are thinking more in a data-driven strategy. So the main difference here is, as you can see, we simply remove the redesign, which is not always going to be 100% true, because of course always need to do some redesigns, but we are doing this through the computer and with the integration of the data. Remember, the design is the visual, the data and the information that are all together. So we are building from the requirements, the data and the elements, we put them together, we create a design, an intelligent design, which should be ready for the construction. And if not, it's, let's say, easyable, redesignable inside the BIM software.
Right. So I think the really crucial part here is just on the chart with the traditional workflow. What you can see, this is between the validation and redesign. The arrow has the two directions, right? So
Yeah,
this is the validation redesign
exactly.
in the loop, and it's just until you will manage it and you will finish, etc. So I think the important part here is that we move the design. So the validation will here, everything will happen in the second process on the BIM workflow. Everything will happen in the validation phase, when automatically or semi-automatically we will be able just to detect all of the clashes and everything, and just making sure that we can just create a state-of-the-art design. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I got it. I'm not sure if I will get it for the next episode, but at least now I understood.
Perfect. So remember this, that we are working with a data-driven strategy, which the data is as important as the visualization, because we're talking with BIM on the design process. Okay, this will ease us the time on the workflow process. This graph is called, if I'm not mistaken, the McLeamy graph for the design process strategy, data-driven design process. You can see how in BIM this orange graph is shifted to the left. So we have, in terms of time and before, we are better performing than the current or conventional design process, which is the CAD or CAD. Okay, so we are moving all the force to the design phase. We are not delivering anything which is not ready to build. We are considering all the potentials, collisions, mistakes, or errors that may happen on site, foreseeing them on our intelligent model. So when we give it a go for the construction in a BIM project, we are not 100%, because no one is perfect on their work, but really higher chances to get a more intelligent and successful design. So we are putting more effort on the design phase. It will get more time. It will take more time and more effort to produce a better designs, but this is going to save us time, money, and will increase the efficiency, because one is implemented on site, the error will be way less.
So when you look at this, so this is the previous the greenish curve, and the part below it. This is the cost associated. What is this? Is the whole matrix? Let's say curve is down.
Oh yeah, this is the one without says ability to impact of all the costs. So for example, if we are
Okay.
doing some changes at the beginning, we can impact the cost easier than at the end. At the end, the impact on the cost, well, is gonna be higher to make an impact, and the costs are gonna be also as well higher. So with BIM, we have the possibility to make changes and amendments quicker and affect less on the overall budget because the changes are made on the digital twin or this virtual model. So before it makes to the construction on the site.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I got it. I understood. This means that we try to shift the more expensive changes, etc. You can just still think through them, right? So this is
Mhm.
like a prototyping in the computer, which allows you just to remove all of the expenses
Exactly.
from
Exactly.
the. Got it.
Yeah. Good. So we're going to talk about something, other concept in BIM, creative with flow, which is the coordinated model. To make all this happen, we need a coordinated model, also called federative or federated model in some cases. The idea is this common data environment. Remember, we talked about this on the previous episode, CDE or common data environment. Let's imagine this global cloud where everyone put the information and take the information from. So we are unique. We are drinking and eating or whatever from this unique source. So there's less room for misunderstanding or potential errors, as all the information is going to be thrown there, and the model is going to be, as the name says, coordinated. The idea of this is that every single party taking a construction big project, every single party makes their own design, their own work, and they send it to the coordinated model, and it's the BIM coordinator. That's why we highlight the role of this role on the previous episode, which is very important because he's in charge or she is in charge to implement the coordinations of all these models and highlight the potential clashes or roadblocks between them. So we can see on this image how the different installations within in a building they need to be adapted and sent to the main structure or the main federated model where everything's collapse between themselves, and you can see if there is clashes or not.
Very good. Now I got it. So that's something which is really we spoke about it on the previous sessions as well, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the concept of a budget. Now we know way more about being, we know way more about the concept. So I want to repeat it again with this word coordinated or federated model because there are two words that we hear a lot about the big projects where everyone needs to collaborate and put their part on them.
okay. Understand.
Good. How this may happen? This is what I explained before about the role of the BIM coordinator. When we want to make those changes, usually if we're working with the IFC format, remember the IFC are the industry foundation classes, the Open BIM format, or we are working on commercial software as Revit or Archicad. We request the model from the BIM coordinator, the main this CD or cloud. One of the party, one of the planners, they take the model, make the work, the impact or the changes, and send again to the coordinator, who will be the one who implement those changes into the main model, and the next party, the one that want to make changes, can take it from there and have it the latest update. So this is the idea of how this work process flows in BIM, and the importance here of the BIM coordinator, who's going to be the one to create that coordinated or federated model.
Okay, so you're still insisting of having the BIM coordinator, right? So this is the role we are always talking about. Is
Yeah,
it really something which is very, very critical?
definitely. You can see as the wider or higher or more important is the project, also more important and relevant is the role of the BIM coordinator. This person has on his hands, let's say, the power to avoid all the clashes and collapse, everything else. With BIM, we allow to work, let's say, separately, but on the same room. But if there is not someone who coordinates those separate workflow, at the end, we're going to be working in separate models that I don't care about this installation or the other one. I'm just going to run my installation, and if it clashes, it will be the problem to be solved on site. This is usually how things work on the construction industry, and with BIM, we want to avoid this. We want to put all these people, all these planners on the same virtual room, let's say. They will interact and talk to them, and we will make sure that the model was going to be launched for construction is going to be coordinated, it's going to be a collaborative model, and it's going to be work with the collaboration. Remember these three C's, the communication between the parties. So there is no clashes, there is no collision, there is no mistakes, and everyone put their part without annoying the others.
Okay.
Good. So after all this talk, we're gonna take a look at this funny pictures here. We're gonna take a look of the or some examples in the real life how this mislead of coordination, communication, coordination can happen in the real life. No, some examples. So we can see that, for example, on this first image, which I personally love it, we are working a security company without the CCTV or the video registration in a building, but they don't really have to know where the screens for AVs or other marketing or standards they want to put on the building they are. So they don't really need to be worried about this. Same as the other party doesn't need to worry if behind my screen is going to be a camera. But if we're working here with BIM, there's going to be a team, because the BIM coordinator won't be also a unique person. They will have a team around that will worry and will care about that this system doesn't collapse. That if I'm placing one camera, it needs to have enough visibility in front. If I'm placing one screen, I won't be blocking anything behind it. And same goes for the tap or the sewage on the road, right? We are working here about different parties who make their own piece of work on the process, and they don't usually are aware of the rest of them, and it's not their job. But with BIM, we implemented a figure, a team, a methodology that put all of them into a stock. And for example, before it happens, the installation of that camera, in BIM, the model, they will flag out something saying, hold on, this camera needs to have a free radius or the diameter of 2-3 meters, whatever, and it's not happening here. So this is red, flag light, attention please, we need to check this. So this is a clash detection. We need to coordinate it before it happens to construction. So this is the idea.
Yeah, the camera is just it's just watching if there is nobody who wants to steal the screen. So that's not.
And if they steal it from behind, they won't even see their faces. So
Oh yeah, but we'll see that it's all.
yeah. Also, some other examples, for example, this ventilation fan clashing with the pillars of a structural architectural team, coordinating with the ventilation, or some equipment installation team as well. And on the right side figure, we can see how we are running through this tray of electricity or internet cable through a wall and filling up with some foam, which is clearly very inflammable. So this is completely a flag for construction industry, that electricity cannot be surrounded by this kind of material. So we're just making, okay, it should be a pleasure for a trader. Is no, I don't care. I just make a hole. No, these things should be highlighted, and the person who built that tray needs to be aware that there is a structure and there is a wall behind, so they need to select a different route or amend with the architect or the structural team to prevent this. And this will happen on the coordinated model. Okay? On this screenshot that I present right now is where we can see this happening virtually on the digital twin. Remember, the digital twin is the same, the virtual brother of the building, let's say, where we have all the data implemented, and it is the intelligent model where all the data is being put in through, and all the installation start to build up. So through different software of BIM coordination, we can see and highlight some clashes, potential clashes, before they happen on real life, as we said on the previous slide. On the previous slides.
Makes sense. So when I work with one of the startups in Paris, one of the idea of using BIM was designing and checking the different type of doors and making sure that they can do the savings. I know it sounds completely ridiculous, but they were just designing some of the different doors on the floor, and the doors to the toilet was just much higher resistance, because they were just based on the experience of the company, were just more going to maintenance because of the frequency of opening the building. And next to that, they were able to design it properly on the structure, based on the flow also of the people, etc., what they designed it. Because on the top of it, what you can have it as well, you can also just build a simulation afterwards of running the business, right? And running the building, running the construction. So you can see, if you have the conference room or if you have the big building, you can simulate the number of interactions going through the building itself. So that's not only just about the creating and building, but when you have all of the installation, then when you have everything built, you can also run the simulation of running it and bringing the maintenance as well on it.
This is the idea that bringing this is foreseeing the future somehow, so you won't face the problems that you are nowadays facing with the coordination and classes of different installations. Good. So let's study one of my favorite examples for in construction industry. I'm very sure that pretty much all of our audience heard about the Brandenburg Airport in Berlin, the airport which has been predicted to open six times or seven, and it costs like 4 or 5 times more. So anyway, they say here I took some screenshots from news about the project itself. This project is really important. Apart from the how bad was was executed, is an example of how we don't need to do the things. And in Germany specifically, where this project has been executed, it's been a really milestone for government and construction companies to say, guys, we cannot make this more happen. This is a shame for everyone. And the direction they're turning now is we need to make it with BIM. So such a big project, we need to make it with BIM. As much coordination, collaboration, and communication within a project, more BIM you need to put inside. So, taking an example, I take a quick look about this airport project. We can see how long it's been taken on this paper. It says 30 years from conception to to completion or operation, missing 7 operating dates. Is completely a big scandal of the construction industry and how things don't seem to happen. And one of the things that for me they're more important about this project is that all the main issues were highlighted because of lack of coordination. I remember to seeing like lights who doesn't turn on, lights who doesn't turn off, some doors who cannot open because you have walls or cameras inside, and vice versa. This is completely one failure after the other because we've been running different services without considering the others, and this is only avoidable unless you have a perfect communication and collaboration between all the parties with BIM. So taking a look of all this one we're talking here about some of the figures that shows the big delay and oversize of the project in the execution phase. I think it opened last October 2021, if I'm not mistaken, and still people are a bit embarrassed to when they talk about this, and you see so many different Germany construction companies or also politicians with the ministry that this cannot happen anymore. The only way is to go for the federated coordinated model going towards BIM.
You know, I never flew from this airport still. I need to go to Berlin just to go through this. Have you used it? Have you used the Berlin airport?
No, I haven't used this one yet, of course, but I had a friend who landed there no long time ago, I think around March, and I said, yeah, this is the new airport, the one who's been like super long time to be constructed. So I said, yeah, you know what, Enrique, there's nothing there. After all, there is nothing there. There is no services. There is no chair where I can wait for my next flight. The Wi-Fi wasn't working. So you can see this is being pushed. We need to open this. Is being pushed, and still it's not working. There is a big lack of coordination, and I can remember some of the figures. We're talking about more than 500 meters of cable run again because of they've been running and installing not properly, and the fact that there was so much lighting issues because they will have interference between different network service, so they couldn't switch on and off lights after which they wanted to make it automatically, and this definitely didn't work. So it was like a fair there with all the lights flashing in and out during the day, during the night, and getting super heat and cold. So, and still today the Wi-Fi doesn't work. My friend told me. We said this is top number 1 user experience. There is no Wi-Fi, there is no seats. I don't like this airport.
Well, it's okay. Let's maybe just do the team event there. So just maybe we can just go there to see how this works and make some future webinars.
Yeah. So letting this with everything that we discussed through. I also captured here a couple of articles talking about BIM. I like this first title of that wouldn't have happened with BIM. It's very direct, it's very clear, there is no room for misunderstanding. We are talking here mainly a lack of coordination. And this is one of the 3 C's, remember, coordination, collaboration, and communication, that BIM is here to help. So not having the possibility to coordinate and communicate the parties in between for such a big project has a huge impact as the services are not working. Simply as that, services are not working. As we said, definite many doors or structural things that they are in place without being able to be used properly. A coordination through a federated or a coordinated model will save all this for us. Also highlighting here the collaboration and work with the implementation. We can take a look at some of the errors occur during the execution phase as well. But this is really, we can say here, this is really the German Ministry of Transport and Digital Infrastructure decided to say, okay, now guys, this is a turning point for us. From now on, we are going to start to require this level of BIM, this dimension of BIM on our project if they require this level of communication, because there's no possibilities that we can keep running these size projects without making BIM into the practice.
Yeah, but it's never do black or white, right? I think that right now the some of the companies who are just providing the beam solutions, they try just to convince that if the Berlin airport has the beam systems, they will be just less they will be efficient. But I think this is what you said before, Enrique. It's not only the system, the platform, but there are so many different things related to it. Of course, the coordination, but it's also the number of people who need to need to understand
Completely.
the stuff. Yeah. So
Remember, this is one of the main barriers, no? The lack of BIM understanding is one of the main barriers to the implementation of BIM, and also the difference knowledge between the technical team and other stakeholders of other parts of the company.
data and visualization. Imagine that.
Peter, oh my God, you are really disappointing me today. You really need the weekend. Visualization and information. I'm gonna type it down now,
Sorry.
so it is closed under our streaming. So, as a summary of what we saw today, data-driven strategy is where we are focusing our efforts on the design phase. We are making a bigger impact to create changes without affecting the overall budget of the project as much as we do with a design-driven strategy. So being works like this, we shift the force, we spend more time and more resources on create a proper design, but it's going to be way more efficient. And the idea of the federated or coordinated model, where all the different parties put their design on site, their networks or their structures or whatsoever, and the coordination team, the BIM coordination role or the coordination team will be in charge to detect those clashes and avoid the image that we saw before and execution of projects as the Brandenburger report.
It's clear. I don't want to say anything because you will just tell me that I'm not ready again. So just know I'm just not. That's okay.
Good. So for the next episode, one thing we have been on our bucket list for few seasons already, the new situation worldwide. I really want to take a quick look about all these implementations, laws, and different forces that they're putting into requirement for the public tenders. Some governments in the world. That's why, as a Germany, just recently joined after this shameless operation, and we are soon to close our season, but this is not the end. We're going to keep making more and more content during the summer. But I invite you now to go and visit our YouTube channel, the BIM Cafe, to be or not to be, subscribe, and you can watch this episode and way more. This is the way for us for you guys to keep learning, and don't make like Pio that after 10 sessions he still doesn't know these two words. So please go there, subscribe, and you can see all our
It's not about
episodes.
like this. It's not about. Sorry, and this is learning curve. Okay, so you learn, then you just go down. So you need to agree. That's normal. I'm learning all the time. So, guys, I think this is what's has Enrique just explained it. We will just the next session will be the last before vacation. Then we will just go with the some of the pre-recorded sessions for during the vacation period. We're looking forward to restart it in the beginning of September, the live one. So just we will find out what the timing will be, what will be the best really moment to get together. So I think this is something which we will try to look at as well. Um, we also just invite you, and thank you very much for those who just already trying. We just offer you the ability just to talk to us in our free time, thanks to agenda which we have in our system. So you can book it directly through our agenda. So just it will show up. You will have the virtual meeting with Enrique and myself, and try just to really answer your basic questions. So thank you for those people who already tried. It's always great discussion. We also invite the people to join us during the next season to talk about it, about their experiences, about their pitfalls, and the way how they just solve it. So I think this is important. Um, we want your help. We want also just that you share your knowledge about the BIM. More than I'm learning, less I understand it. That's normal. But more
Of
than
course,
I'm learning,
yes.
I hear it more and more basic stuff which are coming from the network, the colleagues and the clients, which we can help. So I think this is important. We also will help you with some of the BIM workshops if you need. So this is the preparations which you can see on behind me. The BIM workshops we are helping to organize to manage the process through the preparations and all of this part related to the assessment. So come and join us. And
Mhm.
my God, we said last week that will be the last week, but I think this is the last week we haven't changed the
Fi-
slide.
finish. We finish for the season the proper for the pin range assessment. So this is your last train, the last chance to jump into this trade.
I haven't just seen that. So it's just yeah, you're lucky guys. So just it's still the discounted price which you have for the readiness assessment. But it's over. Just after this one, it will not show up, so they will go back to the full price. Thanks to you because we have the full demand and just the request coming in. So thank you for this for the trust which you're giving us. So we really appreciate this one. So Enrique, the next week will be the last one, right? And
Exactly.
we can go just have a great weekend right now, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Your weekend, and remember, Peter, on the last episode, I'm gonna make only one question at the beginning: what is BIM? And I wait two-word answers. Okay, so I really want you to be there. It's at the end of the season. Remember, let's see these words. You know, if you don't remember this word, you can just go to the YouTube channel, watch the episode because I said that like 15 times on every single one.
Okay, I just need to go back to YouTube. Enrique, thank you very much for just being. Thank you very much for all of the guys who just participate, who stay with us for the 25 minutes which we run the part of the session, and talk to you next week.
Exactly. Have a good weekend ahead, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Bye.
Thanks. Take care. Bye bye.